So welcome to another unboxing video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander, and today we're cracking open the two brand new expansions for MBT, which stands for Main Battle Tank, and that's from GMT Games. So these two expansions, this one's called FRG, and this is the kind of West German army units, and then we have BAOR, which is British Army on the Rhine. So it's basically just two faction expansions. So you do have to have the base game MBT to play these. However, both of these expansions are entirely independent. You don't need one to play the other. You can just get one of these if you want to, either one, or you can get both of them. You know, if you want to be a completionist or just have everything kind of thing. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at both of them, because the contents are fairly similar. So we'll crack both of them open so you can kind of see what it is you're getting. So we'll start with British Army on the Rhine. This comes in a 2-inch box, and again, this is iconic from the MBT as well. The artwork is really, really dynamic, really cool. Nice. Big old tank battle going on. Very evocative. So the bag contents, so we've got a little bag of bags, which we'd expect. Everything here is in a big giant baggie. We'll get this out of the way for a second. So let's crack it open. So the first thing you can see is there's a big stack of new geomorphic maps. And we'll look at those here in a second, because they include some new terrain features and obviously just give you more, so that's always good. Alright, let's take a little look. There isn't a separate rules book, it's just all included in the playbook. If you think about other GMT games, even MBT, there's the normal rule book, then there's the advanced rules, and then there's a whole playbook which includes all of the scenarios. Here it's included, it's just the playbook, and it's huge. This is a good, we're looking at, it's 39 pages inside. So really it's 38 pages of rules. Now, what you have in here, there are some new rules with this expansion. There's not many, so that's good, but there are new rules. A lot of those are new terrain features, which we mentioned, which we'll take a look at here in just a second. Basically, there's a big roadway, which is basically just motorway kind of thing, autobahns, freeways, that kind of thing. There's a power grid station, and this is very specific to some of the scenarios. And then there's kind of like big tank farms looking like large grain silos, that kind of thing. So those are the new kind of terrain features. Then the real new rules, so to speak, there's some kind of NATO acquisition bonuses. There's a few extra counters in here, but those are just for reference. The new part is the leaders here. So there's some good amount of new rules here, but not a ton. They kind of explain all the different ones. But really, the leaders are individual leaders, and you assign, you pick an X amount of leaders that you want to have in your game, and you assign each one to a specific kind of tank or a foot unit, and they give that unit some bonuses to hit, or morale bonuses, spotting bonuses, suppression recovery, that kind of stuff. And really, this is neat because it adds an extra dynamic to the game, but also it's quite loose, so you can just mutually decide beforehand how many you want to have. They're not actually, these aren't included in the scenarios and the order of battle kind of thing. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to have, in your game. You can put as much of this in or as little as you want. But that's it. That's the new rules. There's not a lot. There's really 4 pages of new rules. Then you've got the overall OOB, and then then it gets right into the scenarios. This is scenarios 21 through, 29, 30. So there's 30. So you got yourself 10 new scenarios in here, and it's again nice full color, what you'd expect from these kind of things. But that's really what the expansion is. Just more of the same with new units. So let's kind of take a look at those new units. That's what we all came for. And it's pretty much what you'd expect. There's 3 counter sheets, double-sided. So we'll kind of just take a little look here. You got like chieftains. We got some scorpions down here and some Spartans. More chieftains, so many chieftains. And again, these are all double-sided like you'd normally expect. And these are a much paler green compared to the American ones. And we'll look at that in this counter sheet. So here's the American ones, and they're kind of very bold army green. There's some more Abrams tanks. We do have some extra Russian units, some more T-72s, T-80s. Then there's, whoops, they're almost falling out. These are well punched, so that's nice. Just more kind of counters for keeping track of everything, 1 numbers. These are those NATO acquisition tokens. Fire SA move counters. Again, double-sided. That back in there. And then the last counter sheet, here we have, so this is the fun stuff. So we have here's some leaders to start with. So we've got some British leaders up here. And if you look at them, now you've got a little image of a man with his name. And then you start all of his little statistics of which he's going to bump you on your morale checks. Attack values, armor piercing values, various different bits and pieces. And again, you just pick a couple of these and you put them on your tanks before you start, and you agree beforehand with your opponent how many each side's going to have and what that looks like. There's actually, these don't carry a victory point cost or penalty. You just agree to put them in for fun, really. So that's actually really cool. You could arbitrarily assign victory point values to them, but if you kill a leader, technically, according to the rules, it doesn't help you win the game from a victory point stand. It might help you win the game by eliminating more difficult units and getting rid of those bonuses, but it's just extra stuff that, again, is optional. I really like that. And we have down here, we've got the foot units, some more victory point markers, some turret markers, and then we do have so we've got some Russian leaders here, and we do have some American leaders as well. So if you buy just this expansion, you'll get leaders for both of the base game factions as well. So that's kind of what you want to see. You don't need to get the other expansion, they don't divvy it up and kind of try to cheap you on those. So that's nice. That's all the counters there. Comes with a D10, because you can never have too many of those. We'll open up. These are the unit reference cards. Again, same stock as the base game, very thick. These are very durable. So you've got your chieftains here. Challengers, strikers, Spartans, and you've got ferrets here, track raiders, artillery batteries. And so here's the so we got chieftain bridge layer. So we've got tornadoes, those are new, and we have jump jet harriers as well. Scorpions, do we have scimitars in here as well? Yeah, scimitars, there we go. Warriors. Got yourself lynx, helicopters, and some gazelles as well. So, it's just more of what you love in MBT, just the different faction, different bits and pieces. So let's take a quick look at the maps here. So you've got more of these geomorphic map cards that you're used to with the base game. So you just get a lot of new terrains. So here you've got a town built on a really tall hill, so that's cool. Like we saw here. So here's one of the new pieces of terrain. So here you've got, this is ramped at 2.0. So this is a huge power grid plant. And there's a lot of extra rules, well, not a lot, you saw this, a small paragraph, so rules about this and how all that works. And these are scenario specific as well. I'll tell you a lot of the things in the scenario of what you're going to need to do here. I think on here we saw, here we go. So here we have, this is this Autobahn type motorway, expressway, and so you get extra moves on there. That's just a different type of road. So that's one of the other terrains. So that's one, you get 1, 2, 3, you get 4 different map cards, and they're all these large size ones that pull out. And here's the, these are the, I forget what they're called, but they're basically big silo farms, so you have like, you know, grain storage and those kind of things. Again, different rules. These are quite tall buildings. But outside of that, you've just got more terrain. So you've got two huge peaks on this map card. And then over here we've got some more peaks with forests on them. Big long road lined with some trees there. And the last card, you got a bit more open terrain. And you have a nice big small village on a hill there as well. And all of these cards, so they're numbered, right? This is card 25 here, but they also have this BAOR symbol kind of printed on the bottom of each one of them, so you know which expansion they came from. But that's it. That's everything that's in the BAOR expansion, which is British Army on the Rhine. What we'll do is we'll take a quick look at the FRG, which is, and I forget the actual terminology, but this is the West Germans, the Westies. So you've got in here leopards, marders, all that kind of thing. It's a very similar content that you got in BAOR, just, you know, just nuanced and slightly different. So you got another bag of bags that you'd expect. There's another set of 4 map cards, and again there's some extra new different terrain. These don't have the same terrains as the BAOR expansion, so you do get some unique stuff here. Get another 10-sider. Again, just a playbook, not an extra rule book, and very, very similarly you've got just the new rules. So there's tracks, which are, you know, less well, not, you know, unpaved roads basically, so you get some different movement capacities, just some small tactical changes there. There's a big airfield called Twilight 1-4, and that has some rules for kind of rearming and refueling fixed-wing aircraft, which is very interesting. That's really the big part of that, and there's some rules about controlling the airfield and whatnot. Again, you've got leaders in this expansion. So you've got the German leaders for the German army that you get in a box. And again, there's US and Russian leaders. So if you bought just this expansion, you would get leaders for both the two core factions as well. And again, you get another 10 scenarios in here. Just exactly that you'd expect from more MBT, basically. OOB, again, really only 4 pages, 4 or 5 pages of new rules. Not a lot to consume, so that's nice. If you're familiar with MBT, really you pull this out, you've got an army in a box, and 2 extra rules, 3 at the most to kind of play around with, and you're ready to go. You just set it up and play. It's just more to do, so that's something that's neat about this expansion. You don't have a ton of extra stuff to kind of leaf through and figure out. What we'll do is we'll crack open, if I can even do it. Oh. Having a hard time today. This one was wrapped extra well. Okay, so we have, these are the unit reference cards. So like we said, we've got the leopard here. Different variants. Got the Spähpanzerluchs. And then the Fuchs, which is the Fox. Some artillery batteries. Bridging unit. Some more leopards here. Jaguars. And then we've got here some half-track squads, some crude serve weapons. So they have some tornadoes here as well. Some Alpha Jet A's. And then we've got Marders. Panzermörser, trucks, Gepards, and a couple of helicopters there as well. So that's what they have, unit card reference wise, and then we'll take a look at the counters. And again, 3 sheets of counters. So we've got the main units here. Again, this is exactly what you'd expect. We've got leopards, tons of leopards, some Marders down here, different units. And these have a grey background to them, and they're kind of dark units to differentiate them. backside, it's just more of the same. And then here we have, here's the German leaders, and the German leaders have a pale blue background to them, which matches the infantry colors, just to help you differentiate those. They've got American leaders and Russian leaders. And we'll grab these, I believe. Okay, so we're going to compare. This is from BAOR, and if you look, the Russian and American leaders you get in these expansions, they look to be identical. So you've got Jackson, Smith, Scott, Roberts, and Perez. Jackson, Smith, Scott, Roberts, and Perez. So it doesn't matter which one you get. If you buy both expansions, you get the same leaders in each one. So these are doubled up if you get both the expansions. Not a big deal, but you're not going to miss out on anything from the core game if you don't get one of these expansions. You'll still get the same leaders, so you're not missing out on anything. So that's great. Got yourself your air units, infantry units, turrets, and some markers there. And again, just like in BAOR. So this is from BAOR. The only real difference, I don't know if there is a difference at all in these. Okay, there's a ever so slight difference in these little spotting counters down here. So this is BAOR. These are unique, and everything else is exactly the same on the FRG expansion, apart from these 6 counters. Even the numbered counters are the same. So you just get more Russian T-80s, T-72s, and then more M1 Abrams. So those are both identical, apart from just the faction icons on these 6 counters. So that's nice. Again, that's what you want. If you can have 2 expansions, they are neither exclusive from each other, so you get everything that you would have in this one, apart from the other faction. What we'll do is we'll take a quick look at the map cards. So we've got this map card here. So here's a track. So you've got a track here. There's some walls and some forest. The road kind of peters off into a track going up to this, I don't know, chateau we'll call it, even though it's in Germany. A huge city here, so that's really fun. That's the good stuff right there. Get into some close quarters combat. And then we've got some kind of low hills here. And on the back, we have a lot of big open terrain on this one. And on this one here, here's the fun stuff. So here's Twilight 1-4. Got this huge airfield here. And so you're going to have 2 or 3 other map cards up here. So this is going to be a big objective to kind of take and capture. And there's, again, rules in the scenario, as well as there's that big kind of almost a full page on this alone of what that looks like, how to use it, and what it can do. But that's really neat. Just gives you, I don't know, it's more, I like this and that power grid station. It's more than just capture a town, capture a crossroads, hold some bridges. It gives you a real military objective to kind of go, and I don't know, I feel like that gives you some really cool elements there. And this is Anvil 1-6. This is another named objective here, which is kind of looks like a big ammo and supplies dump. If you kind of look, there's a bunch of different girders and barrels and bits and pieces. Might be ammo dump. There might be some specific rules in there that I missed over. And a huge kind of forest area on this one. But those are the 4 map cards there. So that's really it. That was BAOR and FRG. They have big expansions. Each of these comes in a 2-inch box. The base game for MBT comes in a 2-inch box, but you'll never fit it back in there. I have a big 3-inch shoebox basically, and with these I'm going to have to get an even bigger box probably. But that's what you get inside the box. You don't get a ton of like new bits and pieces. There is some new stuff to keep it fresh, but the new stuff comes from all those extra units, all that new intel on each of these cards. So you get whole new nuances of units, and you got used to playing with those Abrams and the TAs and T-72s. Here you've got different units that might be a little bit faster but not as strong, or got weaker armor on the front, better on the sides. Just give you a different tactical feel as to what your units can do and how to push them. As well as 10 scenarios each, so even more game and more bang for your buck. So that's these 2 expansions for MBT. It's FRG and BAOR. Thank you very much for watching. Watch for a review coming soon, and we can read on our website, theplayersaid.com. And I've been Alexander.